All right, so I'm not gonna prolong this video any longer. Figure I'll just tell you what's going on. So I have a bathroom here, right? So I took a shit like, I don't know, this is probably like 2 days ago. The toilet clogged and I tried to unclog it and then I forgot what I was doing because I have ADD. I don't know if anyone watches my shit as ADD, but sometimes like you're in the middle of doing something, like it's something like that you shouldn't forget. Like you're like plunging a toilet and then like someone calls you and you're like, oh, and you just like go take the phone call. So the shit stayed in the toilet. So then the other day I had to take, so the shit stayed there for like 2 days and like fossilized and shit. Then I come back, like this is the middle of the night the other night, tired, I'm writing shit down here, working on stuff for the documentary, contractual shit, and I had to take a shit again. So I go and I take a shit in the fossil shit hole. So now I take a shit on top of another shit, but the one before, anyway, the point is there was shit in my toilet, which Karina doesn't use. She doesn't even come in this room. She's like, that room is so disgusting. I don't even want to step foot in there. You are such a no, she doesn't say that. That was the other one. But she thinks I am a dirtbag. I'm messy and shit. And so now there's a bunch of flies. It literally looks like there's a dead fucking body in here. Because there's flies everywhere. There's not a dead body. So before the video started, I was going around with my shirt and I was just smashing flies out. I mean, you know. I used to be the rep of San Bernardino. Hey, what's up, man? I'm Ryan. I used to have our tank in San Bernardino. Oh, I heard. Sup, fool? Sup? All right, I don't know what that means. All right, so anyway, that's what's going on. So if the reason that I'm prefacing this video with that is if I get up suddenly, it's because there's still a couple of these fuckers that I haven't killed. Fuck. But let's get on with the story. Because I'm really trying. I'm really trying to focus more on the videos. YouTube, you guys are getting a lot less frequent videos. Patreon, I'm trying to do multiples a day. You guys got to realize there has to be a difference between the paid service and what I put on YouTube. Although I'm 100% grateful for you guys on YouTube, so I'll continue to put stories. But there's different storylines. For instance, for the $20 tier, I just started a storyline, what really happened this last year. Man, it's full of a bunch of gay sex with other former reps. It's like being like a former president. You go to like these conventions and someone's like, yeah, dude, I was the rep of A Block in San Jose County lockup. Oh, what's up, man? I'm Ryan Leone. Rep from our tank. 2017. 18. Spencer. Oh, what's up, bro? Nothing. Well, what are we going to go over at the convention? How to do removals without catching the attention of the law. Good topic. All right. Hey, can I have some of that popcorn? Nah, dude. I'm on a paleo diet. I don't fuck with butter anymore. Oh, all right. All right, anyway, let's get into the story. Sorry, sometimes I just have to warm up. I tried doing the thing where I go like right into the stories and it's just like not working. And I got to warm up a little bit. So where we're at, I almost got smashed off the yard because I was in there for pimping and pandering. They didn't know if it was a sex charge, which makes no fucking sense because it's like this, right? This is what I tell people all the time. I think that pimping and pandering is like some sort of dirtbag charge, which I really don't think it is. Now, first of all, women are escorts. There's guys that are escorts. Yeah, there's guys that'll be like, hey, dude, what up? Suck your dick for $15. And like some businessman's like, okay. Only if I can snort some Ritalin first. Gay prostitute's like, for sure, brother. And then they go and they do that. Also, women do the same thing. I don't look down on people that do that. I've never done that. Never had the opportunity. I've never like stood on the street corner with short shorts either. I don't even know if anyone would pay me. You know? I don't know. I look like one of those guys that has diseases. I don't know. I've always kind of had that look. You know, I've had girls say that. Like, well, I would fuck you, but you look like you have diseases. I'm like, dude, I do. Herpes, Hep C, HPV, and I've had chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. So what? I don't have HIV. It's usually like not a good pickup line though. It's like what you tell, like, do you have anything? I don't have AIDS. That's usually like, I try that sometimes, like thinking that might like get me in, but what? Okay, do you have, you don't have AIDS, that's good. Do you have anything else? I'm like, fucking rats. And then I list everything I have. That's why being a gay prostitute went to work, because I look like a disease guy. I am. So what? Fucking. I don't know. I feel like I really tired this. This is like the last fly. I killed like 10 of them. Oh shit, he's on my mic. Fucking suffocate him. All right, so, you know, the thing with pimping and pandering though, you know, I explained this in the last video. So, coercion is a piece of shit thing to do. Human trafficking, all that, horrible, right? That's when you pressure somebody into doing sex work and it's like not consensual. But there's such thing as consensual sex work. Meaning there's women that'll be like, yup, you give me $100, I will fuck your ugly ass. And dudes are like, right here. And they fuck. So what? Consensual. Now, you know, I realize that sex is a special sacred thing for a lot of people, and for a lot of people it's not. For me, it's somewhere in the middle. I definitely prefer to fuck people that I love. You know, you get to a point where you just have a bunch of meaningless sex and it's empty. You know, I like fucking Karina because I love her. She gave me a child. I'm in love with her. So it's, I don't know if it's lovemaking. Like when I have her like bent over a bed and like have like my middle finger in her mouth. I don't know if that's lovemaking, but it feels that way. Point is, though, there's people that they don't look at sex that way. They don't care. Usually they were sexually abused. And unfortunately, sadly, a lot of women that get sexually abused think that the only thing that they're good for is sex. They have a life of objectification, stripping, getting butt fucked in parking lots by construction workers for money, Venmo, Zelle, all that. And unfortunately, in the sex working world, a lot of times men can be pieces of shit. They beat them and they rape them. So a panderer, I wasn't even convicted of pimping. I'm not that cool. I'm a panderer, you know? I'm like a Asian fast food chain. Pander Express. Basically, facilitating a prostitution deal to make sure that it's safer. Now, people that are like, well, that's a piece of shit thing to do. All right, don't watch Pornhub, because the producers that pay those women to do porn films, it's just a business. And you got to remember that it's consensual adults. That's why there's a difference between pimping and pandering on an adult, pimping and pandering on a minor, because when you're a minor, there is no consensuality. You're pimping a minor, if you're brokering a prostitute, like, how do you say her name? Gracine, Maxwell, the Epstein's madam. I can never remember her name. Gacine, whatever. She'll probably be dead in a week from COVID or something. We all know it's coming. You know, like, anytime you broker prostitution for a minor, like, that's a piece of shit thing to do, because the consensuality's skewed. Doesn't matter. Yes, at 15, 16, I was fucking. Shit, I was butt fucking chicks at 15. At 14, at that. Anal. Without lube. You know? She's like, well, I don't know. I always wanted my first time to be with someone I love. I'm like, can we do butt sex? Well, yeah. Okay. And then everyone's at school is like, you fucked that chick in the ass. I was like, yeah, I'm so cool. And then the chick's like cutting on herself. And that's just the sad truth, double standard, fucked up shit about high school. We've all been there. I don't know where I was going with this. Point is, though, is pimping and pandering, if you really think about it, there was nothing non-consensual about that. In fact, the girl came to me, was like, I've been doing this for a long time. She had a long list of solicitation. I felt bad for her. Really, she was a victim in the whole thing. If you look at the fucking discovery, which I will post on Patreon. Patreon, you guys are going to see this first. So I'll put all the discovery and all that. You can read through the case. There are screenshots where I'm telling her, don't do this. You're better than prostituting yourself. Do webcam porn. If you're going to do sex work, at least make it safe. But because she was a felon for being a prostitute and for nonviolent drug stuff, she couldn't get conventional work. Hey, have you ever been convicted of a felony? It's just being a prostitute and being a junkie. Oh, that's cool. We'll let you work here. You sound solid. You know, fuck no. Can't get a job that way. So it's one of those things that basically, I guess you'd call it a wobbler. Yes, you hear other prison channels, pimping and pandering's no good. That's not true. I was GP in all of these different places with that charge. The fucking highest person in the white hierarchy, literally in federal custody, said I could stay as long as I left Victorville on good terms before. And I had. I didn't check in when I was in Victorville and when I left in 2010. Only because my parents bailed me out all the time. So with all that being said, obviously that whole situation, I'd already been jumped in Santa Barbara County. And now I'm sure there's people like, well, maybe the reason you got jumped is for the pimping and pandering. The reason I got jumped was because those guys were dope fiends. They wanted to pull a jack move, which you're going to see a lot throughout the course of this saga, my third prison term, because it happened more than once where dope fiend politics fucked me in some way. At Victorville, there's another place where I get in trouble like that. Not get in trouble for anything I did wrong, get in trouble because there's people making fucked up calls. There's people, letting heroin puppeteer them, and that's just the truth. Anyone that's done time, if you've been anywhere, if you've been to a real spot, you know how it is. Bad calls all the time. It's all about those papers. It's all about filling that binky up with drops. That's it. And working out, and then being like, dude, when I get out, I'm going to do good. Yeah, let me see that binky, dog. There's like blood in it. Fuck it. And that's just the reality. It's this cyclical thing. And unfortunately, mostly people in prisons are there for being drug addicted or mentally ill. They let me stay on the yard, and then I was able to show my clean paperwork to the rep. And after I showed my clean paperwork, and also remember, I've touched on this. The fact that I went out to the yard and told this story in front of all the white dudes, it takes balls. I hear you guys in the comments. She's a bitch. You're a bitch. Dance, bitch. I'm not that big of a bitch. I went out there and I faced that shit like a man. How many of you honestly would do that when there's a good chance you're going to get stabbed? Like a 95% chance. It's like buying a $1 scratcher and being like, like owing someone $20 and being like, fuck, I only have $3. I'm going to get 3 $1 scratchers. I'll win 20 for sure. It's like those kind of odds. Nope. Fuck yeah, I want a free ticket. One more chance. And then you strike out and then you get stabbed in the stomach. You're like, oh, fuck. Should have just panhandled the other $17. So people start treating me better. But I did heroin, like I said, my Native American this Native American dude that I was hanging out with. My cellie was the guy without the ear. This Native American kid that I think he lived next to me. He lived with a Mongol. Now, I didn't really get along with the Mongols. I don't know. Whatever, I wasn't like super tight with them. But there was a Mongol, I forget what his name was, but he was next door to me and this Native American lived next door. It lived with him. They were like celled up together. Now, Mongols weren't Southsiders because they refused to pay the MA taxes. They'd have like tattoos that said tax-free. And then I go in 2018 and they're like, yo, what up? We're Southsiders now. I was like, prison is so weird like that, right? And he was celled up with a native. But, you know, being a Mongol, he kind of ran with the Southsiders, but he like wasn't a homie. And then the natives, they're a pretty small portion of the inmate population, but there's a pretty significant amount of them because they don't have prisons on reservations. So if you catch a case, you go to federal prisons. There's a lot of people in federal prison that are there for what you'd be at like a jail, like domestic violence is a big one, assault with a deadly weapon, a lot of sex crimes. Not in these kind of higher security yards. When you start getting the mediums and highs, you're not going to run into sex offenders like that because they don't last. You know, we talked about the first time I was there and that dude hit the chomo with a rock. Right. It's just like sitting on a bench. You hit him like 2001 A Space Odyssey style. It's like, you know, remember in the beginning when the monkeys are like hitting each other with like bones and shit? It was like that. So barbaric. We were like playing softball. Like nobody even, like we finished. We all were like, yeah, good game, good game. This chomo's just bleeding to death in the middle of the dirt. Nobody even looked at him. You know? People like tripped over him. They're like, oh man, fuck. Fucking dead chomo. I fucking hate that shit, man. Why can't you put the dead chomo like in the middle of the yard? Come on. Think. Think, McFly. Think. So I do heroin and I start getting strung out real quick. Heroin's pretty hard to get there. You know, when I was there before, it was flooded with black. Flooded. You would find black like everywhere. You could like go up to the cop and be like, hey man, I ran out of black. He's like, all right, I'm going to loan you a gram. Seriously, Leone. Last time, bud. Now I'm digging into my personal stuff. And that ain't cool. It wasn't really like that, but, you know, kind of. You could get it very easily. Let's just say, yes, I'm making a joke of it, but it was very easy to get. Now, fast forward to 2018. I don't know how much I've gone into this, but I think it may be interesting for people to know what's going on in prisons right now, at least in the federal system. All the drugs have been replaced by synthetics. Two synthetics in particular, spice, which is a synthetic cannabinoid, and Suboxone. So Suboxone is like a Listerine strip. It comes in strips. It also comes in like Subutex pills, or it comes in the Octagon orange pills. But now they have Suboxone that comes in 2 milligram, 4 milligram, 4, 8, 12, I believe. I don't think there's a 16. 4, 8, and 12, I want to say. And the little strips, we've talked about it a million times, you can cut one up, and each little teeny piece will get you high. People snort them, so you can just put it in a spoon. You just cut a little, like, I want to show you, like, on a piece of paper what I'm talking about. Because it's like, you know, it's, I'm a visual guy. Okay, so yeah, my nails are dirty. I know I'm a scumbag. So what? All right, so that's like what a strip looks like for the most part. Okay, you can cut this little strip, and it's like paper thin like this, so people can send them in the mail. And I'm not going to go into all the methods, but you can get them in. One of these wholesale in federal prison, one strip, goes for about $60. You can break that into 32 pieces and sell them for $10 a piece. So one of these can be broken down and make $320. Wholesale at $60. You can go to the doctor with Medi-Cal and you can get 90 of them for free. All you have to do is pay for the doctor visit. It's about $150 a month. It's quite a profit margin. So that's what everybody's doing. They're sending Suboxone in the mail. A lot of times they're, you know, and look, so you get the strip, you know, they cut it into little teeny pieces, little, like, I don't know if you can see, like about like smaller than that, probably half that size is a dose. You can put that in a spoon, add water, put it down your nose. You can inject it, and people are putting it in their eyeball. I didn't do that. I was like, you know what? I'm a hardcore dope fiend, but that's pretty ridiculous. I'm just going to boof this shit. Excuse me. I'm like on the yard, like sticking shit up my ass, start sucking on my finger. I'm like, what? That's what I do when I boof, dude. It's for balance, motherfucker. Come on. If you got a problem, we can box. No, just kidding. No, I mean, come on. I slam shit, you know? I'm like, hey, who's got a needle? They're like, that guy. It's like some like seagull looking guy. He's like, Rah! He's all like, I'm like, that guy? Does that guy have AIDS? They're like, I don't know. Does he? He's like, ah! I'm like, dude, he doesn't even speak it. He just makes fucking pterodactyl noises. Yeah, dude, he's got, I don't know. He's got a needle though. And he's like, I need a drop. Like missing all his teeth. It's like bloodshot eyes. He's drinking an Ensure, which is what they give you if you have AIDS. I'm like, hey dude, can I get a sip of your Ensure? He's like, ah! And he like gives it to me. I like wipe it off, but I like share the needle with him. So I'd always slam the Suboxone. Now, you know, heroin is expensive. You're getting like a point of a gram for like $50 if you're lucky. And they'll put coffee in it to like cut it. So like it really burns when you snort it and when you slam. It's just, at least with Suboxone, you know what you're getting. And a lot of times now they're getting the strips and they'll wrap them up in wax. They'll put them in a balloon. Somebody's girlfriend will come bring them 500 strips. It's cracking in there with Suboxone. Now that's the first one. Second thing is I've talked about spice. Now that's like on the internet, you Google like liquid incense, spice, liquid incense. You get this liquid, you put it, I'm not telling you when to do this, but you put it in denature alcohol because it will make it an adhesive. You put it on like a card stock, or you can put it like on legal paper, and you get a hobby craft gun and go and you just spray it. Now they sell, where do I have an ID? They sell that. This is how you measure it. An ID is $500. Now a hit of spice, everybody's walking around in federal prison with like little pieces of paper. They don't look like anything. They look like just little pieces of paper. That's a hit of spice. People will roll that up in like Bible paper, or a lot of people have contraptions. They have like batteries and they have like a little coil around it. You put the piece of spice on the coil. You get a pen, like a metallic pen, right? Usually steal them from the cops. You know, I don't know what's up with this fucking pen. It's like this pen, like, well, anyway. So you take the pen apart. I don't know. This one's like dope fiend proof. But you take the pen apart and you freebase it in the coil. So this like little coil, if you put a battery, has like wires that go in a battery, gets red hot, and you can freebase it. Take a hit. As soon as you blow it out, it's like a synthetic marijuana high, but it's not. It's scary. It's like, imagine the strongest sativa that like gives you a bad head trip, and times a million, you know? Like usually, like if you get on a bad trip with sativa, you like, you know, you smoke something, God, my nose constantly fucked up, man. That's from my long-term Wellbutrin addiction. Jeez. No. So one of these days I'm going to get fucking surgery because this is just too much. I'm like fucking Karina, and my like nose is spewing out snot. And she's like, this is so gross. I was like, yeah, I know. I love you. She's like, I love you too so much. So like, you know, when you smoke sativa, like, and you get in your head and you take a hit, and then you'll be like, you'll say something, and you'll be like, yeah, I don't know. I think Joe Flacco is a pretty good quarterback. Then you'll think about what you said, and you're like, is what I just said sound cool? Probably didn't sound that cool. You probably shouldn't say anything else. So you know that head trip. When you smoke this stuff, spice or K2, you think really, like, you say something, and then like you'll be in your head and you'll be like, I wonder if this dude's ever thought about eating my flesh. Maybe I should ask him. And then you'll like say half of it. You'll just be like, flesh. And I'll be like, are you talking about my fucking ear, man? You're like, no, bro. I'm really fucked up. And then you like go in your bunk. And yeah, I mean, I've gotten to the point where I'm hiding under my bunk. I'm like, oh my God. You know, people take a hit of spice and go check in. They're like, oh, they can like hear the whole unit talking about them at once. Very weird stuff. It gives you seizures sometimes. I've seen people fall out. I've been in dorm settings in prisons where like everybody's blazing spice and like you'll just see people like fall out and there's like people like putting their hand on their forehead as they're like having seizures. It looks like people are performing exorcisms all throughout the dorm. And you're just like, oh my God. That looks pretty cool. I want to do it too. Because you just want to get out of your fucking head. Now, the thing is, the earless guy, he was a spice addict. Straight up spice addict. Now, he worked as a plumber, and he also worked in CMS. He's making like $40 a month, you know, for his that's like good in the feds. Like, he's like upper middle class, you know? That's like, in the prison economy, that's like, you can wear like turtlenecks and shit. And you're like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I work at CMS. How you doing? I don't know. Not really sure what to do with my funds. Thinking about a private retirement fund. I'm not sure though. What do you think? Do you got a private retirement fund? Nah, I just got all my money on my phone, man. I got a little bit on my for store, but most of it's on my phone. Oh, all right. That kind of shit. So this guy would make $40, and then he was constantly classic prison guy. Owes every single fucking cent of that for, it's not a lot of money to begin with. He owes it all to the spice guy. So this guy didn't really like me until I showed my paperwork. And I think the fact that I went out to the yard, he liked me a little more. He's like, all right. This guy's like, he's kind of a bitch, but like, maybe he's just stupid or maybe he's tough. I don't know. He's all right. Fuck it. He's got 2 ears. That's cool. So he would smoke spice all the time. And you know, so he started giving me hits. Now, I'm for sure one of those drug addicts. Like, I don't like crystal meth. I fucking hate it. I hate meth. I hate meth. Everyone thinks I'm always twacked out. I hate it. Trust me. If I was twacked out, I'd be like, dude, I'm just wondering how many of you are making eye contact with me right now. No, I'm not beating off. It's gross. Oh, I gotta go. And I just like, palabra. And, you know, that's like what I would be doing if I was tweaking. But anytime someone offers me like, hey man, you want to shoot some meth? I'm like, for sure. Yeah, dude, I'm a tweaker. Let me shoot that. You know, it's like, I'm just a garbage pail. It doesn't matter what it is. Dude, you want to boof some whiteout? And then suck on a fucking Magnum marker? I'm like, obviously, let's do this. So spice is one of those things that I don't like, but I'll do. So I started smoking it with him, and like these weird characters, these weird spice dealers will show up. It's like all like hot. It's like the summer, and this paisa comes in like wearing like a beanie. Have you ever seen like the little homie like action figures you can get? They're like little Southsiders. I don't know if that's like an LA thing. But you can get these like, they're called little homies. This guy had a brocha mustache. He was a paisa. He thought he was like Cheech or something. He'd be like, hey man, hey, do you guys want to buy some spice, man? And I'd always be like, fuck. Because I didn't want to spend my money on it, but I'm just such a junkie. I'd be like, okay. And, you know, and the earless dude would always be like, all right, man, check it out. If you give me $4, I'll give you $1 back the next 3 weeks in the beginning of each week. I'm like, that's only $3. Oh, well. Come on, man. Give me $4, man. Come on, man. He was like a junkie, man. You know, I'm sure I could have been like, hey, dude, if you jerk me off, I'll give you $4. He would have been like, man, I don't usually do shit like this, bro, but all right. Like that? Yeah. All right, dude. I got you. Next time I go to the store, I'll get you $4 worth of shit. Just make me a list. Oh, thanks, man. Hey, don't tell no one about it. Of course not, dude. You think I'm some sort of weirdo or something? So I start smoking it with him, and like I said, there's always this assortment of weird characters. There's like the Paisa, and then there's like some guy that has like, it's the weirdest shit I've ever seen. Missing all of his teeth except he has one of these teeth, and it has it's gold. He's like one of those guys that just creeps you out. You know what I'm talking about? Like you'll be talking. You know how like sometimes I do this sometimes. You're talking to a girl, and you're like, you just look at her tits. Like, I've been called out. Chicks are like, dude, are you looking at my tits? And I was just like, I am. I'm really sorry. I'm really immature. Sometimes it works. They're like, oh my God, your honesty is so refreshing. It's 69. You're like, okay, let's do it. And then you have a baby. The end. All right. So anyway, he'd just be like looking at me, like, same kind of thing, looking at a girl's tits, but he'd be like biting his lip, like, hey man, oh no, he's Hispanic. Hey, do you do sumo squats, dog? I'm just kind of curious, dog, cause I'm gonna be completely 100 with you, dog. You kind of have an ass like a hyena. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's like pretty much not a normal thing to say. Oh, hey, Spencer, dog, I didn't mean no disrespect, fool. Hey, for real, dog, on the video, dog. I didn't even mean disrespect like that. I just think you have a nice butt, fool. I'd be like, hey, earless guy, can we not, like, have gay Pisces here? I mean, I don't know. It's killing my fucking, it's killing the vibe, dude. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, yeah. All right. Gotta get $4. You know what you gotta do, bro. So, point of the story is I just start getting really strung out on various substances, namely spice, and I also meet the heroin connection. So the Native American had given me a sample. It was good heroin, right? And so now I'm pretty much doing that when I can, and I'm also doing Suboxone when I can. I'm primarily doing Suboxone. I'm also playing a lot of poker, and I'm just living large because I got it like that at the time, right? I have multiple people. I have multiple friends I can call. Like, I could call Jeff and be like, hey, I need $100. He'd do it. Call Paul. Paul didn't have a lot of money, but he'd find it somehow. He'd like post it on Facebook. He'd be like, please. Like, he just bugged people until they did it. I fucking miss Paul, man. That was a good dude. Because he really would do shit like that all the time. He made sure I never went without. How many friends do you have like that? Really? Not a lot. And, I'm talking to Karina on the email. I started working out. My ribs are pretty much healed. And believe it or not, I kind of got in with the Italian mob car. Like, those guys took a liking to me. Hey, yo, Leone. Hey, man, are you from Sicily, bro? Oh, man, you're a little fucking Guido thug like us, bro. Hey, you all right, bro? And I kind of had PTSD from New York. Hey, yo, bro, come on, bro. But these guys were like the real deal. I mean, they were like all doing life. Like all these dudes I was hanging out with were like the kind of guys that were doing armed robberies in Boston. They're like the guys from the town, but like the real life guys, wise guys. Those kind of guys were at Oxford, but I didn't kick it with them too much. But at this particular place, I was hanging out with those guys a lot. And I was hanging out with some Italian dudes from Vegas. I don't know. They kind of just took me in. And pretty much Victorville was completely flooded with Suboxone, completely flooded with spice, a little bit of bud, a little bit of heroin, and then, a little bit of meth. But like how I've explained before, basically happy cards, people just spraying it on cards. While I'm there, I see, it's it's rocking, you know. I don't know. It's hard to describe. Like, I can't even think of like what particular order it happened, but you know, I mean, I saw probably like I saw like I said, I saw Paisa get smashed out the first day. Um, I saw I saw some black dudes fighting. That was a pretty vicious one. Yeah, what's up? Vicious from Santa Barbara. Someone got stabbed while I was there, but it wasn't in front of me. You know, it happened another unit. I'd say it was tamer the second time. You know, it had calmed down. But the problem was that, as I explained in the earlier video, while all this is going on, so I'm running around doing my thing. You know, I'm starting to get tattoos and shit in there. And you know, I run into a couple guys that I'd seen before. You know, they're like, there's a couple black dudes that I knew from the first time I was there. There was like this one white dude. He was on a violation too. So I started running into people. And when I had gotten there, as I explained on the last video, a race war started brewing where the Paisas wanted to change the economy. And it was like 50 cents a stamp. They wanted it to go down to 33 cents a stamp. So like you would need new stamps. What I heard is that they had a fence. So they had somebody on the streets that could actually take broken up mailing stamps and sell them. There's like some black market value or something. I know that you used to be able to go to the post office and give flat books of mailing stamps and they'd give you the money for it. But rumor had it that the Paisas had some connection where they could sell, you know, single mailing stamps. Anyway, that started brewing. Now, at the time, remember, Victorville is a multiple yard complex. So there's two FCIs. So those are medium securities. They say that there's a medium high and a medium low. I was at the medium high. Then there's another medium low. Then there's the medium low, which is the 2. So the 1 is the high. The 2 is the low. And the USP is like the high, like the maximum security, but it's pretty much all the same shit, really. USP is more serious for sure. Anytime you're at a pen, it's just a different atmosphere. You know, Lompoc was a different atmosphere. Old USP, it's just like kind of a different trip there. It's more serious. Like, people take shit more seriously. Like, you know, you like try to be humorous. You're like, damn, that fool's hot. I want to butt fuck that guy. And you see like some old timers like, the fuck did you just say? Hey, Pete, stab this fucking queer. Oh man, I'm doing like 3 months though. Come on, Pete. All right. I'll let you slide this time. Okay. So, what happened is this was right in the Trump war on immigrant thing that was going on. You know, Trump administration's locking up all the Paisas. That really fucked us in prison because a huge influx of Paisas came. So what started happening is they started consolidating both of the medium low and medium high. So FCI 1, FCI 2, they start bringing everybody from the medium low over to the medium high because they were going to make that yard and all those buildings into a detention facility. And so there was already existing tension brewing because the Paisas were trying to dictate the stamps. Now think about this. Now they're bringing all the other convicts from the other yard onto our yard. Well, they have their own reps for each race. They have their own politics. How do you think that's going to go? So they start doing that. Well, this is going on. The debts that I'm getting in are getting significantly, bigger. I'll go up to people and be like, hey, let me get 100 paper, a black, right? But, I would treat myself with the black. At this point, I bought a rig off of the Seagull. It's like, the rig he had should have been like a national fucking monument or something. It was like some antique, like, dinosaur rig. And had to snap it out of his brittle ass fucking fingers. Bought it for like $25. Now I had my own rig. And I'm doing Suboxone all the time. And like I said, I'm doing heroin when I can. There's the problem. My money's good. It's not a good thing in prison. When your money's good and people know it, here you go, here you go, here you go. So I'm just back on that trip where I'm running around getting loaded, chasing papers. I remember being and I'm hanging out with like the Italian mafia guys, these old fucking, and I'm not talking about like I'm talking about dudes that were from fucking Italy. They like the